Good afternoon to you all, and happy Friday to you. Greetings from East London. How are we doing today? A few people joining us. Today is going to be a good one. We're talking about message and getting your message out today, so hopefully there will be lots of good debate and lots of great questions. So welcome to you all, everybody that is joining. Really great to see you. How are you doing this week? How's your family? How's your business? How's your team, if you have one? Or how are the people that you work with? Or how is that person that you wish that you could hire but haven't quite figured out how to do it yet? What have you been working on this week? It's been a good week, hasn't it? A lot of people that I've been talking to, a lot of my clients have been feeling very positive this week. It's been a week of great challenges, lots of things opening up here in the UK. So new businesses getting back to work, restaurants, cafes, etc. And a lot of the retail space also opening up. So yeah, it's been an interesting week, and I've been really I feel quite optimistic by the fact that a lot of people are feeling very positive, and that's good. There's some good positive vibes going on, even though I know it's challenging time for a lot of people. So I'm interested to know how you guys are doing. Thank you so much for joining. Lots of people coming in now. So as you know, I live here in East London, and I know that I haven't mentioned ducks recently, but I am going to give you a little bit of a duck update. So the other evening, my husband and I went for a walk around the dock here where we live, and we saw something that we've never seen before. Now, we've lived here for many years, on and off, so we've left to go travelling, and we also went and lived in New York for a little while, but we've been here for quite a few years. And in all of those years that we've lived here, we have never ever seen baby tuft ducks. Now, do you know what tuft ducks are? They are the cutest little ducks. They're a bit smaller than normal ducks, and the male is absolutely jet black, like almost purple or greeny black, and the female is a really nice chocolatey brown, and they have a really cute little tuft on the back of their head, and they have really beady eyes. Anyway, never ever seen baby tuft ducks, as you know, we've been on the hunt for normal kinds of ducks and swans and all kinds of coot babies and all kinds of babies. Anyway, the other evening, my husband and I went out for a walk, and we saw one family that had 4 babies, and then we saw another family that had 4, and then we saw one that had 5. So I saw 13 tuft ducks in one evening, when I've never ever seen any in years and years of walking around this dock. And the cutest thing, before I get off the subject of ducks, the cutest thing about them is that whereas normal ducks, they might sort of put their head in the water to get a little, they eat algae or like off the wools and stuff. The tuft ducks, they actually dive, and I didn't notice that before, but they actually dive underwater. So there are chains and all kinds of things in this dock here, all covered in algae, etc. And these little babies were diving down and popping up. Anyway, it's very cute. Really cute. So very excited about that, as you can hear. So what a week it has been. How has your week been? I've had a really exciting week, actually. So you know that I've been doing some work with the Royal Academy of Engineering, and I've been running some workshops with them on people management. So they just came back to me this last week to ask me to run another series of workshops in the autumn for their new cohort of business owners that are just going to start then. So that is super exciting. And yesterday was actually the 1-year anniversary of that day that I received my box of books, the first brown box of books of my book that got published last year. So yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of that. So super excited. And the Audible version is going to be published any time now. So I will let you know as soon as that Audible version comes out of my book, The Real Entrepreneur. And the other exciting thing that is happening is that I am launching my Real Business Builders Accelerator group program next week, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little while. But I want to get into the content for today. So as you know, this group is all about helping you build a business that works for you, whatever success looks like for you. Some people want a small lifestyle business that pays them the income that they're worth. Other people want to expand and grow into new markets and new opportunities. opportunities, and some of you are chasing world domination. And so whatever success looks like for you, whether you want balance in your life, more time, more money, whatever that looks like for you, this group is all about the building blocks of how do you build that business that works for you. And as a reminder, all the content in this group is divided up into units, because I know that you're busy people and it's really easy to get overwhelmed with all the information out there. So all the content in this group is now organised into 6 modules, so that it's really easy for you to navigate through to what you need and what you're looking for. So last week's live, we were talking about expectations, how you set expectations and how you manage other people's expectations, your own expectations, customers' expectations. And so we put that live in the synergy model. Sorry, the synergy module, or unit, I should say. And this week we're going to be talking about how to get your message out there, and that will go into the solution module. So, what do I mean by getting your message out there? Why do you do what you do? And what is it that you want to share with the world? How do you cut through all that noise and send a really clear message? And how do you avoid being sucked into that social media vacuum, or maelstrom, if you like? Now, unlike some of the areas that I talk about, this is not really an area that I consider myself to be a particular expert in. Like many of you, I've actually struggled at times to get a really clear message out there, and I still feel that there's lots of room for improvement in my own business. But I have learned quite a lot along the way, and that's what I'd like to share with you today. So maybe you're one of those people that think, do you know what? I'm not sure that I'm good enough to put a message out there. I'm not really an expert. You know, why would people listen to me? Why would people even care about me? You know, who the hell do I think I am? So maybe that's you. Or maybe you're somebody that has a very organised system, posts regularly, once or twice a day, has it all organised, does it almost a bit more like a machine, but maybe it's failing to cut through. Maybe you're saying, well, I'm not getting any results from this. I'm spending so much time and maybe even money. Why is my message not cutting through? Why am I not getting the attention or ultimately the customers that I want? So what I have learned over the years of running my business is that it's very easy to spend a lot of time creating videos, writing blogs, sharing articles, commenting on social media posts. I've done all of that, and I'm sure that many of you have as well. And the reason that most of us do this is that we think if we get followers that equals results, and that is kind of a magic formula. The more followers you have, the more results that you get. And what I have learned over the years that just simply isn't actually the case. That's not actually true. I'm not saying that if you don't have more followers that there's more likelihood that people will buy from you, but it's not a binary thing, and it's not just as simple as that at all. So let me explain what I mean by that. I've actually learned over the years that it's much more important to spend that time that you might currently be spending, let's call it broadcasting, which I've done quite a lot of in the past. It's actually really important, or a much better use of your time, particularly if you're still on your own in your business and don't have any support around you. Spending that time getting really, really clear about your message. So let me explain what I mean by that. Until you're really clear about what you are saying, who you are saying it to, and what action you want people to take, then most of what we do online, I'm afraid, is a bit of a waste of time. It can be a nice vanity, ego boost. You know, how many likes am I getting? You might get a nice comment, and that's all great. But a lot of social media posting is actually a complete waste of time. So sorry, marketing people out there, but it really is, in my experience. And I'm going to explain to you why, and I'm going to explain to you how I believe you can get your message out there in an effective way that is not going to burn you out and just suck the life out of you. So I'm going to give you some terrifying stats. Every 60 seconds, there are 4.4 million Google searches. Every 60 seconds, there are 54 million WhatsApp messages. Every 60 seconds. Every 60 seconds, there are 78 million WordPress posts. And every 60 seconds, there are 350 million tweets. I don't know about you, but I can't even really get my head round those numbers. There are 300 million photos uploaded to Facebook every single day, 300 million. On average, people spend an hour every day on Facebook. And on average, there are 5 new Facebook accounts created every single second. Again, I can't really get my head around that. YouTube has 5 billion video views every single day, with 300 hours of video uploaded every minute. I mean, these numbers are just astronomical. Instagram, relatively new on the scene, relatively small compared to the others, still 95 million posts every single day and 4.2 billion likes every single day. Extraordinary. So I don't want to depress you, but without getting really clear about your message, you and your message will get just completely lost in that sea of noise, in that maelstrom of noise and activity. How can you possibly compete? And this is the problem. A lot of people feel like they have to compete with that, and that is a really quick and easy road to burnout. Now, you know me, I like to make things very simple, so let's break this down for you. And again, I'm not pretending to be a marketing expert. What I'm sharing with you is what I have learned over years of running my business, and I'm not pretending that I have cracked it, but I want to share with you some of my thoughts about how to get your message out there without it taking up all your time, sucking the life out of you and draining all of your energy. So, most important thing that I want to say first is that getting your message right does not start with what you're saying. And this has taken me a while to learn also, I will tell you. It actually starts with who you are saying it to. The important thing is to identify who are you talking to and to call those people out. So who is your message for? I'm talking to entrepreneurs and small business owners. Who are you talking to? I did some work with, hi Junior, I can see that you're watching. So we did some work a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about what kind of client. Junior's in fitness and he runs amazing, great online classes, and he also has a gym and he does personal training, and he has a bit of a blend now of hybrid and sort of a blend, I should say, a hybrid blend of online Zoom classes and also in person in his gym when he's allowed to go back. I think, Junior, you guys can go back 25th of July, did I see? So Junior and I were talking about that, and he was saying, well, basically anybody that wants to get fit. And I'm like, no, who are you actually talking to? Like, what kind of person? Who's really your ideal client? Which kind of person are you really talking to? Because the more that you know that, the more that you can call them out and say, hey, I'm talking to you. I understand you. You need to talk their language. I need to talk your language. I need to talk about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, what it's like to be a business owner. And you really do need to pick up those words that your customers or your prospects use, so that when you're talking on social media or when you're trying to get your message out, you know you're resonating with people. Because when I speak, I want you to be watching me going, she understands me, she gets what it's like to be me, she gets what it's like trying to run my business. So very importantly, when you're thinking about who do you want to talk to, it's very important to think about, where are they today? What problems do they have? What are they frustrated with? What are they stuck with? And where do they want to be? So for me, my clients, small business owners, they are often feeling overwhelmed. They're often feeling quite stuck in their business. Often they struggle to organise their time and prioritise their time. They don't really have a clear plan. They've got lots and lots of ideas, but no sort of structure in terms of building it. Sometimes they're on their own in their business, and so they desperately need help, but they don't know what kind of person do I need, and how do I find that person? How do I manage that person? Some of my clients have already got a small team, but then there's, why is everything always coming back to me? Why is everybody still asking me all the questions? Why is it still on my shoulders? So maybe that's you, and maybe you feel like, do you know what? I'd like to be the person that's going home a little bit early today. I don't want to be the last person in the office every day, or I don't want to be the last one on the Zoom call every day. What about me as the business owner? So this is the kind of language that I am trying to you so that I can cut through to you and reach you so that you know that I understand you and I want to serve you. So this is what you need to do for your customers. The other thing to remember whilst we're thinking about who you're trying to talk to is that people buy results. People buy a solution. They don't care what it is really that you're selling. What they care about is what result you can give them. So my clients want a business that works for them. They want a business that pays them what they're worth. They want a business that is successful and fits in with their lifestyle, and that is what they want. They don't really care how we get there. So I've got the building blocks, but what they care about is the result, and that is what your customers care about. So what results is it? What is it that your customers want? Where do they want to be? As I say, where are they today and where do they want to be? So the absolutely best example of this, which I absolutely love, is people don't want a hammer, they want the hole in the wall. Or actually, more precisely, people don't want a hammer, they want the picture on the wall. So instead of selling them a hammer to bang the nail in the wall or to create a hole in the wall, what you're selling them is the picture on the wall. I'm selling you a vision of you running a successful business, a business that works for you. You don't really care about the steps that I'm going to take to help you get there. What you care about is that result. And the other thing I want to say about this, really super important, is that we are creatures of emotion. I speak about that a lot. We're creatures of emotion. We buy feelings, that we want a feeling. So you want to feel like a successful business owner in control of your business, providing for your family, paying yourself what you're worth, serving your customers, changing the world for some of you, but you want that feeling. How is that going to make you feel? And that is what you want. And your customers all want a feeling. We all want feelings. And so the old and the good, I love a bit of a quote. So again, one of my favorites around this is you need to sell people what they want because that is what they will buy. And then you need to find a way to give them what they actually need. And that is what you need to do. And that is what you need to think about when you're thinking about what your customers, what do they want, not what they need, what do they want? So again, I'm going to use Junior as an example. So Junior might be selling them a program, some fitness classes, some personal training. That's not what people want. What people want is to feel healthy and to look amazing and to have a load of energy. That's what they want. They don't want fitness classes. They don't want personal training. What they want is to feel and look amazing and to be healthy. And they might have other reasons around their children and their family and how long they live, but it's all about feelings. And so what Junior's got to do, what you've got to do, Junior, is you've got to cut through in your messages and talk about those feelings, not about the fitness classes. That's how you deliver it. That's not the important thing. Okay, so hopefully that is all very clear. So the first thing, as I mentioned, is not what you're saying, but who are you saying it to and who are you saying it for? Who are you trying to serve? So important. Next, then we come on to what are you trying to say? So what is your message? What is the way that you're going to get your clients what they want, that feeling that they want, those results that they want? How are you going to change the world? How are you going to deliver sustainability? How are you going to help your clients live more healthier lives, make better choices around sustainability, around protecting our planet? How are you going to do that? And what is your key message that you want to tell people? What do you really stand for? And what I would advise here is have no more than sort of 3 key themes, if you like, and they're also the 3 key areas, if you like, in terms of how you're going to get your client from where they are today to where they want to go to. Yeah. So for me, it's all about getting really clear about how you're wired, what puts you in your flow, how do you add the most value to your business, because then you can get really clear, you can make a plan, you can prioritize your time, and crucially you can find the people around you to make you successful. So what are your, if you think about the 3 steps that I mentioned in my TEDx talk, that's exactly what I'm talking about there. So 3 clear steps, yeah? Get really clear about what you're good at and what puts you in your flow. Stop doing everything yourself. And number 3, find the right people around you to make you successful and to help you really build that business that works for you. So what are your key messages? What are your key messages that you want to say to your audience once you've identified who you're talking to and what their problem is? What is your message? This is the moment then to think about what is that key message. Now, it's easy for us to think that people who are connected with us or who are watching us see everything that we are saying, and so it might feel to us like we're repeating ourselves. I've had that sort of thought before, like, oh, haven't I said this before? But the truth is that none of you are watching every single thing that I do or every single thing that I say. And so those key messages that you want to get across, you do need to repeat them. You do need to find different ways to say what you're trying to say, but you also need to keep it really nice and simple for the people that are watching. Again, we're trying to cut through the noise here. We're not trying to add to those terrifying stats that I mentioned before. So this is about quality rather than quantity, and this is about how you cut through. I'd rather that you focused on just a few key posts rather than overwhelming yourself with that machine of never-ending social media posts that just don't really cut through all that noise and actually just add to it, as I said. And then crucially, and I definitely would say that I've been guilty of this in the past, I think the third step, once you've identified who you're talking to and what you really want to say and what you want to communicate and what value you're offering, is then really what do you want people to do? And now I'm not talking about being overly salesy. Now, obviously, sometimes there might be a post that you put out that does have a sort of a direct call to action in terms of maybe buying something or downloading something. But what do you want people to do? So what is an action that they could take as a result of the value that you're offering them? So as a result of today's live, I'm encouraging you, for example, to really take a look at your social media and have a look at whether or not it's just a machine that's churning stuff out. Have a look at, is it really cutting through? Is it really talking to a particular person? So that's what my message is to you, and that's what I'm asking you to do. And I think it's important in all of our communications that we are clear about what is that message, what is that action that we want people to take, yeah? What is that call to action, or what is that value that you're giving? What's the so what, if you like, the what's in it for me? Because that's what we're all doing. We're all so busy. So you're watching me now and you're sitting there thinking, that's great, Lisa, what's in it for me? How can I take value from what you're saying? How can I implement it in my business? And if you didn't feel like you were getting value and you didn't feel like there was an action or something that you could take from this, then you would already have stopped watching. And it's the same with all of the posting. It's the same with getting your message out. You've got to think about what's in it for me. You've got to think about your audience that is reading or scrolling, or why should they engage with it? What's in it? And that maybe sounds very selfish, but that is what we are all thinking all the time. That kind of so what, yeah? There's so much out there. I gave you those ridiculously terrifying stats. So what is it that you want people to do? What can people do with what you're giving them or what you're telling them or what you're saying to them? And that's one of the reasons why I like to keep things really super simple, because we're all so busy, and I know that all of you are, and many of you are overwhelmed, and I get that because I talk to you very often and I understand that, I really do. And so it's important just to keep things simple. We like to make things complicated, but the simpler the better. So what do you want people to do as a result of consuming your content or reading your message? So what is Daniela saying? Is following the issues that your customers face not adding value to your social media? Is following the issues that your customers face not adding value to your social media? I think I understand your question. I mean, if you're talking about the issues that your customers face, absolutely it's adding value. Absolutely, that's what it needs to be about. But I think that quite often we maybe have so many different things that we're talking about that we're not really cutting through. But yes, talking about your customers' problems or talking about your customers' issues is a great way actually to cut through. It's really, really important that people feel like they understand what you're saying. So Daniela is saying, so for example, musicians are currently unemployed. Yes, so Daniela works with musicians, and she has a great platform actually where she provides musicians with beautiful clothing to wear in their performances. And so at the moment, of course, there aren't any live performances happening. There aren't any concert halls that are opening where people can gather to enjoy live music. And so Daniela's customers, who are the musicians, are facing a lot of hardship and are having to be very innovative and think about different ways to share their music with their customers. And so Daniela's also having to try and be very innovative in the way that she is serving them. And yes, Daniela, I think talking to those problems that your customers, your musicians are facing is absolutely an important way to cut through. But I think also to be positive and to try and encourage your clients to be innovative and to think about ways that they can engage with their music and engage with their own customers that they are serving. So it is about also trying to give your clients solutions also to the problems that they face. And I know that your industry is a particularly hard hit industry, and many of you are having to not just be creative for your own businesses, but also think about your customers and how you can offer them solutions. And that's absolutely a way to cut through. And I'm sure that you're serving your musicians very well, and I know you are, Daniela. So my key messages then about getting your message out, they really are, get really clear about who you are speaking to. So as we know, Daniela is speaking to musicians, so she's really very clear about who she's speaking to. And then what are you saying? What do you want to say to them? What is your message to them? How can you help them? How can you serve them? And what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do as a result of consuming your content? How can you help them, and what can they do as a result of the value that you've added to them? So they are really my key messages for you today, and that's what I want you to think about, is look back. As I mentioned at the beginning, either you might be somebody that is a bit nervous about putting yourself out there, or maybe you just got a kind of a regimented system and you're just kind of going through the motions and wondering why it's not working for you. So hopefully those 3 steps will really help you in terms of just getting a real clarity. Don't just do it for the sake of it. That's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise you're just adding to the noise, and that really isn't helpful at all. So I want to mention, I mentioned that I was going to talk to you about something that's launching next week. So as you know, I work one-on-one with a number of different clients, and something that I'm launching next week is a way for those of you that are alone in your business and maybe just starting out or just in those first few years and it's still pretty tough. I have been wanting for some time to do something for you. So this is for you if you are alone in your business, if you want to get organised and focused and get a bit of a plan together. Anyone who would like to get some outside tasks with those, outside help with those tasks that really drain your energy, but you don't necessarily know where to start. Anybody that's kind of overwhelmed, frustrated, or just needs a bit of a plan. So I'm so excited that next week I'm going to be launching a group version of my flagship program, and I'm going to be piloting it over the next few weeks. So it's called the Real Business Builders Accelerator, and there's 5 key steps that we'll be going through as a small group. So it's just 6 places available. I'm going to keep it nice and small so we can really get you some personal attention to all of the 6 of you that join. So the 5 key steps that we're going to go through is get real clarity about your business and how to grow it, what strategy is going to work for you in particular to build your business. We're going to create a business plan together with clear goals and milestones. We're going to definitely understand what tasks put you in your flow and which ones drain your energy. So then we can think about, who do you need around you? Do you need a VA? Do you need someone to help you with your marketing? Who's that first person that you need to bring into your team? I'm going to give you lots of confidence about being the boss in your business, even if you're just on your own. The reason that a lot of people don't take anybody on is they have fear or they're worried about, being the boss and what does that really mean. So we're going to do some work around that. And then crucially, we're going to have some tips and techniques about organising your time and priorities. So it's a 5-week course, and as I say, there's 6 places available, and I am running a live webinar on Monday at 10:30 in the morning, where I will share all the details and answer any questions that you have. You know me, it's no pressure, it's just a session for you to hear all the details of the new program that's launching. It'll be a special launch price, so it's very, very affordable, and it's targeted very much at people who are alone in their business but wanting to grow and scale. So you will find in the group I've created an event called the Real Business Builders Accelerator, and I hope that you will be able to join. I think I've called it Kickstarting Your Business. So on Monday at 10:30 we'll be having that live webinar on Zoom where I'll be able to answer all of your questions, and hopefully you'll get a lot of value from that even if you decide not to join. So I'm going to pick up a couple of questions. So Claire is asking, how would you reach business owners needing support in a standout message with call to action when they are so busy? Well, I guess, Claire, what I would say then is, what do you mean by support? I think you need to be really, really, really super clear about what is exactly the problem that you're solving for them, and what are you offering to do? Because I think if you just go, hey, busy business owner, do you need support? It's too overwhelming and it's difficult to cut through. So I think you need to get really, really, really specific about, as I say, about the specific problem that you're solving. And there may be several problems that you can solve, and therefore I think you do need to pick a couple for social media purposes, so that you're really making sure that you cut through. I mean, I can help people with many, many things, of course, but I really focus on getting organised and organising your time so that you can stop the overwhelm, and then really focus on how do you find the right people so that you can be in your flow. Now, if you came to me and said, can you help me with this aspect of running my business or this aspect of running my business, I can do that, but that's not what I talk about in terms of my social media. It's all about getting organised, having a plan, and finding the right people so that you can stop doing everything yourself. And I think you need to find a similar way of just cutting through and like, what is the specific problem that you're solving, and what is the specific message that you want to give to your potential customers. I hope that's helpful, Claire. Do let me know. And please do join. There's a number of you on here, Daniela, Claire, Nicoline I've seen, so lots of people here. I think a lot of the names are scrolled up, but please feel free to join us on Monday. There'll be lots of good coaching in that as well, and if you do have specific questions around your business, etc., I'll be very happy to answer those. And if you end up joining the program, if you decide it's for you, then brilliant, and if not, that's also okay. Come along and join us. So you can register for your spot on the webinar in the group, as I said. You can see that, and this is really about kickstarting your business and giving it a big jump forward over the summer. So these are my thoughts about messaging and getting your message out. I hope that's been super helpful for you. I'm going to close today's live with 2 quotes actually about getting your message out. So the first one is from Robin Williams, the late great actor. And what he said famously is, no matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. I really love that. I think that's just brilliant. No matter what people tell you, words and ideas really can change the world. And the second one is from John C Maxwell, who is an American author and speaker. And what he says is, if you want to get your message across, you have to learn how to communicate in someone else's world. Wow, that's really, really powerful. I love that one also. I guess, said in a different way, you need to learn how to speak somebody else's language, But it's more than that what he's saying. He's saying you actually need to communicate in somebody else's world. So if I'm really going to cut through to you, you need to feel like I'm in your world and that I understand you and I get you and that I care about you, which, by the way, I really do. So if you want to get your message across, you have to learn how to communicate in someone else's world. Because only you know what it's like to be in your world. Only you know what it's like to run your business. Only you know what those challenges are and what those stresses are. And so in order for me to help you, I need you to understand that I get it. And you need to communicate to your customers that you get what their problems are and that you really understand what they're struggling with and how you can help them. So let me know your thoughts and your questions on this or on any other topic that you might like me to talk about in future lives. Any topic at all that relates to how to grow a business that really works for you as the business owner. What area of business would you like me to speak about next? Do let me know. And I'm going to close off by saying whatever you're doing this weekend and whoever you're doing it with, I do wish you a very happy and peaceful time. And as always, if you want to talk, you know where I am. I hope to see many of you on Monday at 10:30 for our live Zoom call. Take care, stay safe. I'm mincing my words up. Take care, stay safe, and do keep in touch. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. Have a great weekend.